the legendary Williams Formula One team is potentially up for sale. Williams is seeking fresh investment, with a sale of some or all of the team among the drastic options being considered. This is the culmination of a long period of decline for Williams, which is the third most successful team in F1 history, but has won just one Grand Prix in the last 15 seasons. It's a story that stretches back almost a quarter of a century, but here are the 10 key causes and symptoms of the slide of this great team to the back of the grid. Williams' success in the 1990s with drivers like Nigel Mansell, Alain Prost, Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve was built on a combination of Renault engines and the partnership of technical director Patrick Edd and chief designer Adrian Newey. From 1992 to 1997, Williams won 52 Grand Prix and a combined total of 9 constructors and drivers titles. But by the time it was cleaning up during the 1997 season using the Williams FW19 Newey had played a key part in designing, he was gone ahead of joining McLaren. His departure was the result of a feeling he did not have a big enough influence on key decisions in the team, which was still owned 70-30 by Frank Williams and Edd. By losing one of the greatest technical minds in Grand Prix history, Williams no longer had the services of a man who has subsequently been instrumental to the success enjoyed by McLaren and Red Bull. After struggling in 1998 and 1999 thanks to Renault withdrawing from F1 and having to run versions of the French engine that continued to be developed under the Mechachrome and Supertech names, Williams teamed up with BMW in 2000. During their 6 seasons together, Williams won 10 Grand Prix and was a serious contender for the 2003 World Championship, but the partnership never lived up to its huge potential. There were times when the BMW was the most powerful engine in F1, yet the Williams chassis, partly because of the loss of Newey and the fact it hadn't kept pace with the evolution of the aerodynamic departments of its leading rivals, wasn't up to the same standard. BMW achieved its long-term plan of becoming a full works team in 2006, having bought Sauber. But Williams' refusal to sell to the German manufacturer had serious consequences. It no longer had a free work supply of one of the best engines in F1, and there were significant commercial ramifications as well, including the loss of title sponsor HP. This meant that at a time when rival teams were building up rapidly with an influx of manufacturer money, Williams was battling on as an independent. Whether selling out would really have benefited the team in the long term, given Sauber's plight following BMW's withdrawal from F1 in 2009, is a big question, but it was certainly a blow to Williams' competitiveness and financial situation. Frank Williams said in 2010 that he wished Edd were a couple of decades younger, but inevitably the man who had played such a key role in the team couldn't continue as technical director forever. In May 2004, he sidestepped into the role of engineering director, with Sam Michael, who joined the team in 2000 as his anointed successor, becoming technical director. Michael was well regarded, but eventually left in 2011, the first in a series of technical leaders who have come and gone since Edd, including Mike Coughlin, Mark Gillen, Pat Simmons and Paddy Lowe. Edd was critical to the team's rise to prominence and its successful years, but despite his charismatic and inspiring presence still being felt, even though he long since ceased to have a day-to-day involvement, he's never truly been replaced through numerous restructures over the years. Stability is important for F1 teams, but from 2005 to 2014, Williams changed engine supplier 5 times, moving from BMW to Cosworth to Toyota, back to Cosworth to Renault, and then, in a deal that endures to this day and runs to 2025, Mercedes. The continual changes followed on from that split with BMW, and were motivated partly by financial realities based on the need to pay for engines, and partly by the desire to secure the best available option. It was during this period of instability that Williams really became a consistent second half of the grid team. Prior to finishing third in the Constructors' Championship in 2014 after the Mercedes switch, Williams finished in the top 5 only twice in 9 seasons, never higher than 4th. Williams was traditionally a team that railed against running pay drivers because usually it didn't have to. But that changed in 2008 when, after a one-off run-out at the end of the previous season in place of Alex Wurz, Toyota protege Kazuki Nakajima was given a race seat alongside Nico Rosberg. Williams' Toyota engine deal allowed it either to pay for the engines or have them free if it ran a Toyota contracted driver, so given the financial hardship it was battling, Williams took the logical decision to run Nakajima. That one of the major reasons Williams parted company with engine supplier Honda back in 1987 was its refusal to run Satoru Nakajima, Kazuki's father and a long-term Honda protege, shows how much the team's situation had changed. But Nakajima Jr. wasn't the last driver to be taken for commercial reasons, with Nico Hülkenberg losing his seat for 2011 to Pastor Maldonado and his PDVSA money. The following season, Bruno Senna also brought backing to partner Maldonado, while in recent years, both Sergei Sirotkin and Lance Stroll have landed seats thanks to their backing. Such moves did not cause Williams' problems, but they are a clear sign of the difficulties it has been battling in the 21st century. While not technically a Concord agreement because it was a series of bilateral deals, the terms binding the teams, F1 and the FIA together agreed in the middle of 2013 set in stone the inequality between the big teams and the independents in F1. While Williams did manage to secure a $10 million per year historic team bonus, the majority of the cash split by the teams was shared by Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari, regardless of championship position. Although Williams was able to push against the tide and finish third in the Constructors' Championship in 2014 and 2015, it then started to slide down the pecking order thanks to a combination of technical shortcomings on the aerodynamic side in particular and its commercial disadvantages. While Williams drew criticism for signing Lance Stroll thanks to father Lawrence Stroll's backing, it was a necessary move and did align the team with a family that had serious commitment to F1 and the financial muscle to back it up. Stroll was keen on trying to acquire the team, but Williams resisted any such moves and, amid poor results, the relationship came to an end. Stroll Sr. led the consortium that took over Force India in 2018, turning it into Racing Point and bringing Lance over to partner Sergio Perez. Given the investment Stroll has brought to Racing Point, as well as the tie-in with Aston Martin, the team clearly lost out on the kind of investor that would have been perfect for its current situation. The 2018 season was the worst for Williams since it became a constructor in 1978. Despite confidence of a turnaround, that record was then taken by 2019 as Williams finished last in the Constructors' Championship for a second consecutive season and scored just 1 point for Robert Kubica's 10th place in the German Grand Prix. Prior to this slump, Williams had finished in the top 5 of the Constructors' Championship for the previous 4 seasons, but this poor form has had a financial impact. This culminated in an operating loss of £12.9 million in 2019, which the team has put down to poor on-track performance and the resulting decline in revenue. Chief Technical Officer Paddy Lowe, who started work at Williams in March 2017, left the team after its disastrous start to 2019 when its car wasn't ready to run in the first 2.5 days of testing, forcing another round of technical restructuring and recruitment. While Williams' decline can be tracked back to the 1990s, the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic cannot be ignored. Whether Williams could have continued on its present course had the pandemic not hit is impossible to say, but it likely brought forward the process of seeking outside investment. Williams was confident that its form would improve with its 2020 car and testing looked promising, but with the start of the season delayed, it has yet to show conclusively that things have turned around. The future will look brighter for Williams if it secures the inward investment it seeks, whether that means selling off some or all of the team or not. With rule changes set to level the playing field dramatically, the hope is that the Williams decline will be arrested and it really can recapture the glory days of race wins and world championships. It will surely appeal to a potential investor. But what do you think are the reasons behind Williams' current predicament, and what does the future hold for the team? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.